Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sports Spotlight. I am WNEP Sports Director Steve Lloyd, and today we have joining us the crew from Misericordia University. We have head coach Willie Chandler. We have two seniors. First, Arvel Chandler from Scranton High School, and we got the big guy, the center, Matt Prochek, who played a little high school ball at Holy Redeemer. Guys, first off, thanks for joining us, Coach. Thanks for coming down from Dallas. I know it's a little cold out there, and expecting to have a few great practices and get back into that max schedule. But just talk about the overall success of the season right now and everything going for you guys.
Well, thanks for having us on. It's an honor for us to be on here, and like I said, I've known you forever, and it's great. Great coming up here and being on the show. The season's going well right now. We're 3-1 in the conference. So we have a big one coming up with Kings, and that's always, it's our rival game right now since Wilkes left the conference, and we're looking forward to that. I think we're ready for that, and we're trying to keep it rolling. We're working hard every day, and, these two are leading the way, and we're trying to keep it going and hopefully win a MAC championship.
Arvel, how is the season going for you so far this season?
Pretty well. I think this is the best start I've had in my last 4 years, so I think it's going great, and our team is working very hard. Everybody's coming in every day and putting in extra shots, and we're lifting, and everyone's practicing really hard, so it's going great.
Matt, for you?
Onto what Arvel said, we have a good culture this year where I think everybody's hungry, and we've been pushing each other every day to get better, and the ultimate goal is the championship, so that's what we all want, and that's what we're gonna get.
Obviously, here at the station and this Sports Spotlight show, which we've been doing for almost a year now, we really like to focus on local. Misericordia is local. You played locally high school basketball at Scranton High School. Arvel played at Scranton High School. Matt down in Holy Redeemer and Wilkes-Barre. Willie, just kind of take me back to your playing days there for Coach Jackie Lyons at Scranton High School, and what do you remember fondly about playing for the Knights?
Like I said, it's a lot. The playing locally right now is a lot different when I played. I'll say it. I think the competition was better when I played. But playing for Coach Lyons, it was great. He developed me. Him and John Bucci, from my 8th grade year on, they developed me. They saw something in me, and they were tough on me. And it made me who I am today. But they never let me take a day off, and like I said, they pushed me, and I think I bring that to coaching now, where I'm on these guys and I want perfection every day. I know as a coach you're not going to get it, but if they understand I'm trying to push them towards perfection, they'll get as close to it as possible. And I think playing for Jack Lyons and playing for Dave Martin and playing for John Bucci, I think those guys were all three great coaches, and they developed me, and I was lucky enough to have three great coaches. So, I think, like I said, I think the local basketball right now, I want to recruit it more, but a lot of kids don't want to stay local anymore. So, we get kids from all over the place. But having these two local guys, and we have Daryl Wright also from Holy Redeemer, it's been great. These guys have been a catalyst for our team, and they're local guys, and I love it. I love it. So.
How tough is the Lackawanna League? We cover so many different leagues and conferences in our viewing area, whether it's in District 2, District 4, or District 11. But playing in the Lackawanna League, how much did that kind of season you, toughen you up, and get you ready for college basketball?
Well, it's a little different now. I tell these guys all the time, our Lackawanna League, it was us, Abington, Bishop Hannon, Bishop O'Hara. It wasn't spread out now. Sometimes Scranton won't play during the regular season, they won't play Dunmore or Prep.
Right.
That was a normal game for us, and that was like a rival game. So I know it's changed a lot. I think these guys play Wallenpaw, Pack, and Montrose and stuff now. We never played those schools. So, but playing against all that competition, playing against the Mike Mannins, the Dave DeWinos, who, Dave's coaching Division III now also, it made me tougher. Got me ready for East Stroudsburg when I went to East Stroudsburg initially, on a full scholarship, but then I ended up going at Misericordia. But it made me who I am today, playing against all those great guys and playing AAU with all those great guys. Some of them are my best friends till today, up till today, so it's great. I enjoyed it. I enjoy, I'm grateful for Scranton High School. I tell everyone all the time, I'm happy to be from Scranton. I'll rep Scranton until I die. It's great, and I hope these guys are the same way, and I'm the same way with Misericordia, because Misericordia made me who I am today also. Going to a small school like that and being out of my comfort zone at Misericordia at that time, it made me the guy I am today and the man I am today. So I'm grateful for that also.
Arvell, your senior season, along with Jason Shields and a host of other fantastic players with Coach Battaglia there. What do you remember your senior season? I believe you guys finished number 1 and got the trophy for being the number 1 team in the Super 16 countdown.
Yeah, some would say we're the best scoring team ever, so I'd have to say the competition might have been a little better, and we actually played Matt. We beat him too, so it was a great year. Coach B, he pushed us every day, and everybody was coming in there and working hard too, so we ended up winning, I think, the district and the league, and then finished in the Elite 8. And Jason was an all-state player. I was an all-regional player, so we had some great things come out of that, and a few people play college basketball now, so I guess I would say it was a successful season.
Was it easy for you to make a choice to go play for your uncle? I mean, he's your nephew. Obviously, a lot of family, bonding there, and to be able to play for Uncle Willie. I mean, he must have been in your ear a lot growing up and coming to your games. I know I saw him at a few of your games when he could find some time to get out of the coaching realm there. But what's it like just playing for Willie?
Yeah, it was. Well, it's great to play for him, and it was always in my it was an idea to go to Misericordia all the time. I looked around at other colleges. I visited Point Park in Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh, and they gave me a scholarship to go there. They were NAIA at the time, and I was thinking about other schools, but I ended up choosing Misericordia, and I think it was a great thing for me.
All right, enough of the Lackawanna League, right, Matt?
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Let's talk about the Wyoming Valley Conference a little bit for you. Great program down there at Holy Redeemer. You had a fantastic career, and obviously, you're going to getting ready to graduate now up at Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, it all, I just, my coach, Coach Guido, outside of basketball and inside of basketball, he's a great person, and not only did he help me through that sport, but he also helped me with life itself. And he also coached me up to the point where he encouraged me to become more versatile as a player, because mostly I was down low, but he encouraged me to advance my game more and be more inside, outside, and I give him a lot of credit to that.
Yeah, I think the first time I met your coach was with Coach Belinsky over at O'Reilly. Tim Crossan there, kind of in the same shoes as a Jerry McNamara with the run that he had. But
yeah.
What did he instill in you most off the court and then on the court?
Family-oriented within your teammates, and to just be there for others and be a leader, not a follower. And on the court, I'll be honest, he was on me every day, no matter what it was. Even if I was having a good game or one of my best games, he was still on me. And I think that's why, in the long run, we had a great year, especially my senior year. And we made it to the Final Four states, and I'll never forget that run. That was a fun run. Unfortunately, we didn't win it, but that was always our goal. And, and he really pushed us. He really pushed us. So.
Willie, you've had these guys around for 4 years. It's going to be great to see them graduate in May. That's kind of why you go to school to play a little basketball and get a solid education. What have they meant to the program, and how tough is it going to be to lose these guys?
They're the culture right now. These two, along with Kevin last year, I think those guys changed the culture of Misericordia. We're tough now. These guys love the weight room. I think it's the one thing we were lacking a little bit. Even my championship teams at Misericordia, guys didn't like the weight room, but these guys like the weight room. And like Arvell said, they're always in the gym. When they're not in class, they're in the gym shooting the ball, getting better, and they like each other. We're like a family. I was telling my daughter, I have one daughter, but I have 31 sons. And they're all different. So it's great, and they all get along like that. And but these two, we're gonna miss these two when they leave. But the good thing about it, they set the culture to where it's gonna carry on. I think the younger guys look up to these guys, and it's gonna trickle down, and it's gonna keep carrying on. So I'm thankful for these two, and we're gonna miss them.
Arvell, what are you graduating with?
Marketing, a business and marketing focus.
Anybody watching this? What job are you looking for?
I want to do real estate. That's always been like my idea, but any type of sales, anything in that.
All right, Arvell Chandler graduating. There we go. Any prospective, suitors out there that are looking for employment? Matt, what about you? What are you graduating with?
Business and marketing as well.
And what do you want to get into?
We could talk about that another day.
No, we don't want to put that out on the sports spotlight. All right, well, we're just getting started here with the crew from Misericordia. We're going to stick with some of the high school stuff. When we come back, we're going to talk about the night Willie Chandler got to guard Kobe Bryant. Next on the sports spotlight when we come right back. All right, welcome back to the WNEP Sports Spotlight. Once again, I'm Sports Director Steve Lloyd. Joining us, senior players from Misericordia, Arvell Chandler, Matt Prochek, and the head men's basketball coach, Willie Chandler, now in his 11th season out there. He didn't count one of the seasons because it was COVID, but we're going to always count that as a season, Coach. 11 sounds like a nice round number. Special night for Willie. Back in the day when he played for Scranton High School, and they were in the 4A second round of states, and they were getting ready to take on Lower Marion and Kobe Bryant down there at Liberty High School in Bethlehem. That game was at 7:30 at night, and Willie Chandler got a chance to guard Kobe Bryant, and we had a chance to hear Willie explain about that night and guarding Kobe.
We had an upset Williamsport, the game before at Susquehanna University, and Kobe Bryant was waiting, and I know the Williamsport fans were saying, you guys are going to get killed by Lower Marion, this and that. They're saying they're saying some bad things to us on the court. And that was the week Kobe, he had a big article in the Slam magazine, about a 4-page article saying, he's going pro or he's going to Duke or one of the two, and I knew I had to guard him. Coach Lyons came to me and said, you're our most athletic guy, and, I'm going to put you on Kobe. I was excited. I was 15 years old, and I didn't know any better. I'm like, all right, I'm going to go shut this guy down. I don't care who he was, and that's what it was. We're all excited. Our whole team was excited to play Lower Marion. Win or lose, we got to the second round of states, and we got to play the best player in the country. He was a killer on the court, and that's what I try to teach my guys. To this day now, coaching, and that's how I wanted to play. You just take no prisoners. And that's the one thing I try to teach now. Just guys, when you're on that court, play hard for 40 minutes. You got to enjoy the game while you can play it. It doesn't last long, especially college. You got 4 years, and it goes quick. And I try to instill that in my team now, and that's what Kobe was. Kobe, he got on that court. He had no friends, and it was win or that was it. It was win or nothing. That was it for him, and that's why he won 5 championships. He wanted to do it by himself. They let Shaq go, and he wanted to win championships without Shaq, and he was determined enough and he worked hard enough, and he did it.
All right, thanks, Willie. Well, here you are all these years later, and obviously we've lost Kobe in a tragic helicopter accident in L.A. Going down as arguably up there, probably top 5 all-time NBA greats. What do you remember specifically about that night? You talked about it a little bit in the interview back in the day, but all these years later, what do you recollect most?
Just how nice of a guy he was off the court. I always say, Kobe, I learned a lot from that game because Kobe on the court was not nice at all. He wasn't. He was, grabbing my shirt. I think he got a technical foul for elbowing me in the face, and he was letting me know what he was going to do on the court. And I was 15 years old at the time, so I was like,
yeah, you were only a sophomore.
Yeah, I was young. Yeah, so I was kind of taken back by it, like, and I thought he was a mean person at the time. I'd say some other words, but I can't run, but after the game, he came down to the locker room, got me, and had me go get my family, my closest friends, and
that's great.
He took pictures, signed autographs, because I think there was 8,000 people there, so. And he did everything. He told me I was going to be a very good basketball player. He said, just keep working on your game. Then his dad came down, said the same thing. And, even in a newspaper article, he said, I was the only guy that year that didn't lay the red carpet out for him. I made it tough on him, even though I think he had 24 points in 3 quarters. But like I said, besides my daughter being born, that was probably one of my best experiences I've had in my life. And, people still ask me about that everywhere I go. I think my daughter's sick of it. We'll be at Chili's or Applebee's eating, and that's the question. People come over and, hey, you guarded Kobe. I'm like, yeah, They didn't want to hear the whole story, but I can't tell it all the time, so it's kind of like I shorten it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell these guys all the time, like I shut him down. I held him under his average, and that's all that matters. He was averaging 38 a game. I held him to 24. no one has to know about the third 3 quarters, but that's that's what I tell these guys, and they all laugh at me all the time. So
on March 9th, you guys beat Williamsport, who was 17-7. You guys were 14-10 coming in. A little bit of an upset there.
Yeah.
52-44. And then Wednesday, March 13th, that's the night you lost to Lower Merion. And then they went on to win the 4A state title over Cathedral Prep. On their way, they beat Chester, Stroudsburg. I don't know if that was El Basuni. Was he on the team at that point? Maybe Baker?
Had the big kid.
I'm not sure at that time. I'm aging myself. Harrisburg High School was in that bracket. But beating the Millionaires to get there, that was probably a special night for you guys.
Yeah, so Williamsport, the year before they lost, that same team lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. So we were huge underdogs. Like, we played at Susquehanna University, and Coach Lyons had a great plan. He's like, all right, as soon as we get up, we're going to hold the ball. And I think the score, I don't know if you see the score on there, I think it was like 30-some. It was low. It was a low-scoring game.
Yeah, 52-44. You guys beat Williamsport.
Yeah, so we held the ball. So we got up in the second half, and I think the whole fourth quarter we held the ball, and all the Williamsport fans were cursing at us and saying some mean things to us, and they were saying, you guys are going to get killed next game. I said, yeah, probably, but we're beating you guys. So, but Williamsport had Omar Little. They were loaded. And we ended up playing Williamsport my next 3 years of high school. They ended up being like kind of a rival because they're the District 4 team that came to District 2 and played, kind of ended my season the last 2 years of my career, and I'll never forget that. But we got them that year, and we got to play Kobe, so I always have that up on them. So, no, it was like I said, it was a great upset, and we thought we had a chance against Lower Merion until probably the first 20 seconds of the game, because I think Lower Merion, they would have beat us without Kobe. They're that good. I think they had 4 guys go Division I, and they were very impressive. I was, like I said, that was the best high school team I've ever seen and saw since. I just think Kobe was the best high school player. I've been watching a lot of basketball. I haven't seen a Kobe Bryant yet. I know everyone's LeBron, but Kobe was impressive. Kobe, what he did was impressive, and I have him as number 2 overall. I know you said top 5. He's number 2 in my book overall. So
that works. Arvell, I think my era obviously was Jordan, Bird, Magic. For you growing up, what was it? Kobe? Was that the guy that you looked after? No,
not really. I mean, since he talks about Kobe all the time, I hear the story all the time, so it's kind of forced on me. But I'm a big Kevin Durant guy.
Okay,
that's my GOAT, offensively at least. And then LeBron. I'm not a LeBron fan either, but him and Curry have been big guys for us.
Matt, for you?
So I love the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh man.
When they had that run, when they had Tim Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker in them, and
impressive.
I loved their style was.
Yeah,
I love their style. But now I love Jokic. I love Jokic.
All right, well, that's the Kobe Bryant part of Willie Chandler, but he had a great college career. When we come back, we're going to talk about Willie playing up at Misericordia and still being number 2 all-time in scoring in Division III men's basketball history when we come back. All right, welcome back to the WNEP Sports Spotlight. We're now going to talk to Willie about his playing days with head coach Dave Martin, who's now the director of athletics at the University of Scranton. Willie, you finished with 2,898 points. That's still second all-time in Division III men's basketball history. Quite impressive, averaging 26.1 points per game. Graduated in 2003. 9 school records still stand up there. 5 single-game records, and just an impressive career. I know we got a chance to highlight many of your moments up there, but you got to be thrilled to see your name up there on the wall.
Yeah, no, it's great. Especially still working there. Being a head coach, and I know how much work I put in. When that did happen, I worked my butt off, and Coach Martin gave me the green light, and it worked out. I thought. The 4 years in Misericordia, probably best 4 years of my life. I say a couple of my best friends are still Misericordia roommates of mine. But Coach Martin, still like a second father to me, and we still talk all the time. And he just gave me, like I said, he gave me the freedom when I came as a freshman to, hey, lead us, and and let me do what I got to do, and it worked out. It worked out, and I'm glad these guys always want to see highlights. I'm like, we don't have, back then we didn't have YouTube and stuff like that, so I can't show them highlights. Hopefully you guys have a few here where they can see a few, but it's nice having my daughter now be around and see my name up there. She asks a lot of questions because she's starting to get into basketball now, so and she doesn't realize how good I was at basketball, and it's been a while, so I don't realize, I kind of forgot how good I was. I really do. Like, I don't look back at it. Guys talk about it. I'm more into coaching now and looking out for these guys and hopefully getting the best out of them. And like I said, but when they don't listen to me, I just tell them to look up at the scoreboard. Look up there. They can listen then. I'm like, hey, I've done it. I've done it. I've done it pretty well, and hopefully you guys understand that. But no, I'm more about, like I said, the Misericordia thing's great, the scoring's great, but I'm kind of like coaching mode all the time now. So like even when recruits come, they ask about it. It was great, but I'm more, like I said, I'm more about these guys now, and I want to get another ring. That's really where I'm at. I got 4 as a head coach and an assistant. I had none as a player, which hurts, but having the 4 as an assistant, 2 with Trevor, and then two as a head coach, it makes up for it. So I'm hoping these guys get an opportunity to taste the championship and feel it, and because that's the best feeling ever. I say that. So that's where I'm at now. Like, the scoring's great. Misericordia's been great for me, and hopefully me being there 11 years gave a little back to Misericordia, and like I said, hopefully we can finish the year out this year and get these guys a ring.
Arvel, how much of Willie's playing days influence your type of play?
Yeah, well, I'm a pass first guy, I would say, so seeing him score, like, my family would be surprised that I don't shoot some of the shots that I pass up. So I guess it's influenced me to want to score more, because everybody kind of not compares us, but, like, they tell me how great he was, so, like, inspired me to be great,
Obviously, you now play with the shot clock. You didn't play with the shot clock in high school. 3 years from this season, shot clock is coming to high school basketball. Is that going to help the players in Pennsylvania get better, and is that going to help them in recruiting and going to play at the next level? How much help is the shot clock going to help players?
I think it will help a lot. I wish I had it when I played because it's a big difference, and it makes the game faster, and I think people have to make quicker decisions, and everyone gets a, better step to the next level just having a shot clock.
Matt, coach, obviously, second all-time in Division III history, quite impressive. He has influenced your game, and he's been a mentor to you. He must have meant a lot in your career, and still means a lot. You want to get that championship this season.
Yeah, and he him and his staff, they all just push us every day. Surprisingly, you'll be surprised when you hear this, he's a big defensive coach. He's big on defense, But he loves his offense, but he's been pushing us on defense, and that's why we're one of the best in defense. But he pushes me every day, like I said. I mean, he knows sometimes when I could get in my head, and he knows how to get me out of it, and he encourages me to, sometimes if I get in my head and if I'm not taking a shot, he'll encourage me. He'll say, you're going to make the next shot and don't stop shooting. So I appreciate that.
So, Willie, you obviously, your career comes to an end. You make a decision to get into coaching. You come out there, you're on Trevor's staff. Trevor then leaves with Dave to go coach the Lady Royals. Does fantastic there, getting them to the Final Four over his tenure there. And then obviously he's out at Division I Bucknell now. You get a chance to take over 11 seasons. What's that ride been like for you?
It's been great. I mean, the biggest thing was I was doubted early on. Could he be a head coach? Could he do this? Could he do that? And Trevor had my back. Coach Martin had my back, and the AD down now to Chuck Atkins had my back, and they gave me the opportunity to coach. And it's been great. 2 championships later, I think we made the playoffs every year but 2. And being around these guys, it keeps me young, and these guys, like I said, I am hard on these guys, and they handle it well. I think they respect me enough where they understand I'm looking out for them, and I'm harder on him than anyone else probably because he's my nephew, and I tell him to shoot all the time, and I'm very hard on him also, but he's hard on himself, and he's hard on himself. So, but like I said, I love being doubted. That's just growing up. I've always been doubted, and being out as a coach motivated me and, makes me go, like I said, I'm leaving here practice and I'm going to recruit tonight. That's my Tuesday night. I won't get home till 12 o'clock tonight and we play tomorrow. So if we don't have a game, that's an every night thing for me, and that's what you got to do at the Division III level to be successful. And, and these guys see the work I put in, and I think they put the work in the gym, and I think it's a circle of life. And these guys are ready to go this year. I think we're excited about it, and we just got to get a little better. I think we're struggling with some things right now, but we'll be all right.
What have you learned about yourself in those 11 seasons?
That I don't sleep much, and it's okay. No, like I said, I've learned, like I said, to take it day by day. I think a lot of times at this point in my coaching career, I'll already be looking for, all right, the playoffs are going to start. But right now, it's day by day. We got to get better every day. And as I get older, I realize that more and more. But when I was younger, it was like, I think it's probably because my teams were very good. I'm like, all right, let's worry about the championship in January. I'm like, championship's not till February, so let's get, and that's the one thing I'm trying to get these guys. Like, you can't get to the championship by skipping all these days. You got to put the work in every day, and then hopefully the championship pays off at the end, And if it doesn't, we can look in the mirror and be like, all right, we gave our all, and we didn't have it that day, or that team was just better than us. And I think that's where we're getting to right now, because we are a month away from February. We are from the playoffs starting. So. But it's just taking day by day. Slow down. These guys are not going to be here, next year. So I want them to enjoy their last month of the season, practice games, and enjoy it. Don't rush it. Don't worry about anything else. Let's go day by day and enjoy it and have some fun with it.
Arvel, give me the goal here as we wrap up the Sports Spotlight for this team coming down the road.
The goal is to win every game, obviously, but try to get a home court game for the playoffs. Hopefully, both games, the first round and the championship. So I would say that's our main goal.
Matt?
Like Arvel said, home court advantage would be really great in playoffs, but most importantly, that championship. No matter where it's at, we got to be ready.
All right. Best of luck to you guys. Coach, best of luck. Thanks for coming in.
I appreciate you having
us. Good to see you again.
Thank you again. Yep.
Yeah. Misericordia men's basketball team, Coach Chandler, his nephew Arvel, and Matt Prochek down there in Wilkes-Barre area, Holy Redeemer High School. Thanks for joining us here on the Sports Spotlight. Out there, thanks for joining us once again, and come back here anytime soon. Get out there and make it a great day. Have a good night.